What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and Everton have lost 3-2 to Aston Villa. I don't even know where to start on this. Me and John were just talking, and I don't know whether I'm angry or I'm sad or anything. Just, yeah, I'm struggling. So before the start, before the game come out, it was about 12 o'clock today. I got tagged in something on X, Twitter, which was basically saying that we had got into the top 50 football channels in terms of views, with something like 650,000 views. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you. Let's start with that. Massive thank you for your support, your love, your feedback. It's tough. And I think that is absolutely epitomised in the first 4 weeks of this season. And the difference is with a lot of the channels that are above us, they record once, twice, even 3 times a day, whereas we don't. We literally do, 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 at most, usually, videos a week. So really, really grateful for your love and support, and it does just show that, with you guys, anything is possible, and we're breaking them barriers, so thank you. So, yeah, that's really important. People mean a lot to me, so thank you. Now let's talk about the game. I'm sitting here, and genuinely, when the team come out, I sat there and thought, this is going to be horrendous. And bearing in mind, I'd already predicted a 3-0. I thought it could be worse. And we sat back so much in the first 10 minutes that, I think Villa's stats were something like 90% to our 10%. We'd had 13 passes in 10 minutes. I mean, I've never seen a standard of football where a team backs off that much. But it was working, because when we go up the other end, we look threatening. McNeil was looking quite industrial. Ndiaye was just stretching the game. Calvert-Lewin was doing well when he was holding up the ball. And obviously, the goal come from a complete, shock, really. And I didn't think it was going in. It was like a P-roller in the bottom corner. McNeil just gets it out of his feet, literally P-rolls it in the bottom corner, makes it 1-0. And I just went, my reaction was, fucking hell. Because I weren't expecting it. I honestly, there was chance after chance after chance for Villa. Literally, we couldn't get out of our 18-yard box for probably the first 10 minutes. I thought we were really, poor. And we go 1-0 up, and I'm thinking, there's no way we're going to hold on to this. And then we made it 2-0, and I was like, what? What's going on? We're 2-0 up. Yes, we're playing away at Villa. It's a tough place, but 2-0 up. Surely we can't do what we did last week. But we did. And obviously, look, we are playing a better team than Bournemouth. That's not a dig at Bournemouth. But you could equally say that our performance against Bournemouth was better. So, as soon as we went 2-0 up, I was sitting there going, it's only a matter of time. And once they score 1, they get 3. Literally, that's what the second goal was irrelevant, because the moment they scored 1, they were getting 3. That was it. And they scored that first goal, and that was it. We crawled in at half time. There was no changes, I don't think. I can't even remember the half time. There wasn't a half time sub, I don't think. It was just a little bit later. Then it goes to 2-2, and then 10-15 minutes toward the end, that goal from John Duran, I think it was an absolute thunderbolt. I mean, if you're going to lose a game of football, I can almost semi-live with conceding a goal like that, because that was stunning. But the goals I can't cope with conceding are the balls into the box. I don't know how many goals we've conceded this season from simple crosses into the box. Michael Keane should be more than able to deal with a floated ball into the box. Now, I know Ollie Watkins has got a little run up, whereas Michael Keane hasn't. But these guys train week in, week out to deal with crosses into the box. So are we not doing that when we're training? You know, but they're not competing with Calvert-Lewin for these things in training. I couldn't believe it. Ollie Watkins outjumps Michael Keane. I mean, I don't know how tall Ollie Watkins is, so I have no idea how they compare. But what I do think is if that was Jake O'Brien, which has got an extra few inches on Michael Keane, I think we probably keep that ball from going in the goal. You know, basic philosophy, it doesn't go in. Now, I don't know that for definite. You know, he might outshrug Jake O'Brien. He might still score. Ollie Watkins is a fantastic footballer, so not digging him out at all. Not saying he's not capable. But I just don't get the starting Michael Keane. And the thing that frustrates me the most is yet again the performance for what the plan was okay. It was okay. But it is the fundamental basic of starting a team that isn't capable of winning a game of football. And that is what I think happened yet again today. You can go 2-0 up, but if you haven't got the players with the mentality, the grit, the determination, the passion to keep that ball from going in your net, then you are not going to win games of football. And that also then stems from the manager, who, by the way, I think he did all right today. So I'm not going to sit here and blast Dyche. I'm not. The only thing I will criticise Dyche for is starting Michael Keane and Ashley Young. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with what he's seeing to do that. And look, I don't get to see him in training, but I do know that Jake O'Brien, when he was on the pitch, looked fairly assured, looked confident, was prepared to pass the ball out from the back. Michael Keane and Tarkowski literally would get the ball and just thump it up the park. It's disappointing. It actually makes me fucking angry, if I'm being honest, because I don't... How can you do that 2 games running, go 2-0 up and fall apart? And what that also does, by the way, is that breeds confidence for the teams we're playing, because they know no matter what the score, the game is not dead and buried. Everton can't see out a game. You know, Leicester are going to look at that next week and go, we're not scared of that. You know, we're going to play Crystal Palace in the league as well. We're not scared of that. You know, we've got nothing to show for 2 okay performances, 2 decent performances, where, in my opinion, I could have lived with taking a point at Villa. At 2-0 down and going to 2-2, I could have actually lived with that. But to lose the game, I don't get. And look, you can't dig him too much because he scores a goal tonight, but Calvert-Lewin. But why does he try and take it round the keeper? He's literally got, I think it was Konza on his shoulder. He's got Martinez in front of him. It's easier to just get a pop shot off. But even when he does do that, he showed us 15 minutes later, he'll hit the bar. Two goals, in my opinion, should be enough to win you a game of football. It should. But it's not. It's not, and we're really struggling. And I don't know the answer. There's been times where I can sit there and I can analyse spaces, positions, I can analyse goals, and I can tell you where I believe that the root cause of that goal was. You know, we didn't get a winger out to the left, or we didn't cover the runs into the middle. But fundamentally, the whole back 4 is letting us down. The whole back 4. We look shit defensively, and that's why we've conceded 13 goals in 4 games. It's a joke. It is a joke. And we can sit here, we can sugarcoat it, we can blame the players, we can blame the manager, we can blame the board, we can sing songs, Spirit of the Blues, and we can sit here and chanting, we're the famous CFC. But the fact of the matter is, we are the famous CFC. We're sitting 20th in the league, and we don't look like we can stay up at this moment in time because we are a complete disaster class. You don't concede goals, you don't lose football matches. It's not rocket science, but yet we're going into the games with the same back four, the same tactics. The ball comes out into defence and we go long, we go long, we go long. Our two best players prefer the ball into feet on the turn, yet we didn't do it. The one thing I will say, and the one thing I think that appears to be abundantly clear, which I did have my doubts about last week, is I do think they're playing for him. I do think they're playing for Dodge. Because, yet again, they worked hard sometimes in that game today. They sat back, they listened to his instructions. Because there's no way a group of Premier League players would say, I'm literally just going to sit back and try and defend everything, because that is what we did for 96 minutes. At 2-0 up, we were sitting camped on the edge of our box. 2-0. There was no expansive football, there was no trying to retain it. And I think the two philosophies of the teams, it was abundantly obvious. Just look at the kickoffs. When you watch Match of the Day tonight, look at the difference in kickoffs. That's all I'm going to say. Look at the difference. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. John's fuming. John's fuming. But it's weird tonight. It's weird because, look, I predicted we'd lose. And I think a lot of Evertonians probably did. And then they get that confidence and they're like, yeah, we could get a point here. And John was the same. John was confident. But you just know they're going to let you down. You know it. And the issue I have is now that every other Premier League team knows it. They all know that Everton are bottlers. We're Spurs, but on a weekly basis. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking. And yeah, you can come up with as many silver linings as you want. But when you keep losing from winning positions, it hurts. And being 2-0 up in games, it's not like it's just a goal. 2-0 up in games. Yeah, I can't. It doesn't sit well with me, and something has to change. If Dyche is still in charge, then he's got to drop one of the centre half. I'm actually not bothered which one. If he keeps Keeney, drop Tarkowski. I don't care which one goes. One of them has to go because we need the more agile, the more pacey, the taller, younger players. Branthwaite's in training. Jake O'Brien come on today and I thought he did okay. One of those two has to start next week. And I bet that if one of them starts, we don't lose. But, yeah. For the neutral, great game of football. End to end at some points. Everton went to Aston Villa today and give it a good go. We can talk about relegation as much as we want. We can talk about confidence. The facts are, this group of players are definitely good enough to stay in this league. I'm not worried about that at all. But they need to be set up right. They need the right training. And fundamentally, in my opinion, whether they believe it, whether the board believes it, whether the club believe it, and whether some of the fans believe it, by the way, they need a new manager. And I'm not saying that because Dyche did massive things wrong today. The only thing I'll criticise him for is the two defenders. He can't control the bottle jobs on the pitch. He can't control Calvert-Lewin not scoring one of his one-on-ones. He can't control, whether a pass happens or doesn't happen. Like, again, Calvert-Lewin could have played Lilliman and Dye open goal, doesn't do it. He can't control that. But what he can control is the tactics, the substitutions. Now, he played his cards tonight. I can't sit there and say he didn't play his cards. He did. He played his cards, he made his changes, and I couldn't necessarily argue with the subs that he made. The problem is the subs that Villa made were much better than our subs, and he can't control that. But the one thing he can do is not start one of them centre-halves and not start Ashley Young. Simple as that. So, look, it's just my opinion. You're all entitled to disagree, agree. It sounds awful, but I don't care. I don't care because they beat you, they grind you down, they make you feel like awful every week. You know, my boss said to me in the lift last week, he's a great guy. He's sitting there and we're talking in the lift, and I said, imagine supporting a football team that gives you more joy when you don't watch them. How bad is that? How bad is that? That I enjoy watching Everton Football Club when they're not playing, when I can just see them in the distance. I know they just exist. Yes, I love the Blues because every weekend they kill me. They kill me. And no one can tell me that football is just a game and it doesn't play with your emotions, because trust me, when you feel like you're on your floor and you're down there on your knees and you're looking at a way to go up, and you know maybe everything in life is a bit turgid and you're struggling, I used to genuinely look to Everton and go, you know, at least they'll put in a performance this weekend, at least they'll go for it, at least they'll give me something to smile about. Not anymore. I can't trust them to put me in a good mood. I can't trust them to make me smile. It's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. And the only thing that they do is keep bringing out these stories on X and Instagram and Facebook. Oh, new stadium, looking forward to new stadium. We're Stadium FC, people. We're Stadium FC. It's all we talk about. It's the only positive in Everton's world, and even that has cost us essentially almost financial ruin. So, yeah, look, I'm done. I'm done with the preview. I love you all. It's been tough today. It's been a tough game. And I can sit here and try not to get wound up and F and B and all of that. But fundamentally today, I'll end it with, that was fucking shit. That was shit. Simple as. End of story. Hope you've enjoyed.